Good evening, folks. My name is Zack Geoghegan, and welcome to the second episode of what I have already changed the name of to Quarantined Cats because it rings a little bit better, in my opinion, and I think I'm going to roll with it. So, last episode, we kind of introduced what we're going to be doing here, which is me pretty much rambling on about basketball topics, specifically the NBA. We're going to stick to the bubble in this current situation, considering what's going on right now. So, the bubble has actually started is kicked off. What is today? I'm recording this Friday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The bubble started on Wednesday. They'll have games run until the 28th for exhibition games. These are technically their preseason games. Each team will run through 3 preseason games, and then they'll have 8 regular season games each before we finally get into the playoffs, and the regular season games start on July 30th. So today's 24th. We got 6 days until the NBA is officially back. But we've had 2 days of exhibition plays. So we're going to touch on that a little bit. But I think before we really get into anything, we're going to kind of talk about the bubble in general, because the bubble's actually been doing really well so far. And I'm kind of surprised. The NBA announced a couple of days ago that they had 0 positive tests out of all the players that were tested for the first time. They normally have had at least a few. I think the high they had one time was like 11. So they had 0 tests come back this time, positive tests come back this time, which is very, very encouraging. As someone myself who might be labeled as a bubble pessimist, I'm praying and praying every day that this bubble doesn't pop. And right now, I think we're on a good track. Obviously, it's only the first few days, so we'll see how things continue to go. As players are settling into their new living situation and environment. But the initial test coming back is good. We'll see how these exhibition games go, and then once the regular season starts, that's really when we're going to see how tight this bubble really is and how prone it is to being popped or not. So, anywho, let's touch on some of the UK players that have made their way into the bubble. So Eric Bledsoe and Bam Adebayo are both in the bubble officially. They've taken a while to get in there. Bam probably had a positive COVID test. No one could say for sure, but he's finally here. Eric Bledsoe just got rid of his, or he just finished up his last positive test. So now I think he has to get 2 negatives or something like that in a matter of 48 hours. So the Bucks played on Wednesday. They will play again on Saturday, and Bledsoe should play in that game along with De'Aaron Fox, who is coming off of a sprained ankle, left sprained ankle, and he came out with there was an injury update today that says that he's recovered, he's ready to go. So he hurt that at the beginning of the bubble. I think it was right when he got down here, maybe in like a practice session. He was out maybe 10 days. So he missed the first preseason game on Wednesday, but they again play on Saturday, I think it is. So De'Aaron Fox should be out there, as should Eric Bledsoe, and hopefully Bam Adebayo. So with that being said, we should have a total of 15 players, 15 Kentucky players, actually physically down in this bubble right now playing. There's been some tweets out saying that Kentucky has 18 officially, or that's the most out of any college. I think those include players like Trey Lyles, who had the appendectomy surgery that was announced, I think, right before the teams got here, or something like that. But he's out. Rondo's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks, so he could come back depending on how far the Lakers make it. And then who was the third? The third person was probably Willie Cauley-Stein, who had the birth of his first daughter about a week or two ago. So those 3 out cuts the number down to about 15. But 15 is still a lot. I think Duke had like 14 or something. So still the highest amount of players that are down there right now actually playing and getting clocked. So we've only had 2 days, like I said, but there's been some encouraging signs so far from just a couple players that I'd like to point out in particular. Obviously, Anthony Davis finally got to play yesterday. Him and LeBron, they went up against Luka Doncic and the Mavericks. Mavericks won that game. The exhibitions are still kind of going how you might expect normal preseason games to go, where players aren't playing that much of the fourth quarter and stuff like that, or the starters aren't. There's definitely more. Sorry, I just bit my tongue there. That hurt really bad. There's definitely more intensity throughout the game from these players. You can tell they're all trying to get back into game shape. So they're not necessarily taking this lightly, but they're not going as hard as they could. But we're still getting some good insight as to what these players are looking like and what the teams are looking like, because they play regular season games in about a week. So they really don't have much time to experiment and mess around. With that being said, there have been a couple of players who have got some surprise minutes, I guess you could say, starting with Wenyen Gabriel and Keldon Johnson. Wenyen Gabriel with the Trailblazers, Keldon Johnson with the Spurs. We'll start with Keldon Johnson because he put up 11 points, I think 5 rebounds, did pretty well in about 18 minutes. They played the Bucks yesterday, so he was looking pretty good. His goal is more energy and stuff like that. Him and Wenyon both are very much energy guys right now, and they come into kind of spark the team up a little bit. In a time right now when everyone's trying to get into game shape, that's probably not a bad thing. Keldon he played pretty well though, got to the line a few times. Looked solid overall. We'll see how much playing time he continues to get. The Spurs aren't supposed to do much in the playoffs, so there is a possibility, that if a few games are in the regular season, they know that they're done for. Keldon might see a lot of minutes, and I kind of hope that happens just for his development. Moving on to Wenyon, he had himself a very good game yesterday. I think they played the Pacers, the Blazers. I believe they won that game, but Wenyon played pretty well. He had 4 blocks, hit 2 threes. Two of his 4 blocks were on the same possession, back to back. His energy levels were an all-time high as well, playing really well on that end. So those two in particular looked really well. Wenyon, I had to give a shout out just because of all the poo-pooing that has been coming from the mouths of UK fans, supposed fans, for his comments about Cal. So Wenyon's doing fine. He did 2 years in college, should have done more, and he's already on an NBA team. So I think we can all let Wenyon live. He's proven that he didn't need anything else. So moving on, we'll kind of touch about Anthony Davis. He got to play. He was just, I mean, him and LeBron, they kind of did their thing against the Mavericks. The Mavericks ended up winning that game, but Davis and LeBron, they played for the most part just the first half or so. They didn't really play any of the fourth quarter. But they looked good. They looked in shape. LeBron especially was looking really good. AD was looking fine. I think they're just going to kind of continue to ease themselves back in. They don't really need to try all that hard for these exhibition or regular season games because they're going to have the 1 seed pretty much locked up. So that was pretty much all that happened yesterday on Thursday. Wednesday, we didn't see De'Aaron Fox or Bam because of injuries. And I don't think there were really any other Kentucky players that were going on. Tyler Hero played. He did not do that well, actually. He was kind of playing point guard because Kendrick Nunn, who was with Bam, the same boat as Bam, had not made the trip yet. He's their normal point guard. So once he gets back in, maybe he can take over that role. It was kind of fun to see Tyler Hero playing point guard because eventually he probably will need to do that. And if he can be kind of slide into a Devin Booker role, it's going to make him so much better. So but he kind of struggled from shooting the ball the other day. So we'll see how he goes going forward. But for the most part, that is your update from the first 2 days of the exhibition games. Next, I think I'm just going to quickly plug one of my spectacular articles, as they all are. This one I will post right here. I'll put a little picture of it. I'm getting good at this video stuff. I'll put it right here. It's about why Kentucky fans should cheer for the Oklahoma City Thunder when this NBA restart officially begins. There's a slew of reasons why. The main one is they have 3 Kentucky players. Only the Lakers have 2 in the bubble right now. I think that's right. And Rondo's not even playing because he's hurt. So they've got 3 Kentucky players, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Hamidou Diallo, and Nerlens Noel, who will all play. Shai starts. He's probably he might even be their first, but he might be their best player. Him or Chris Paul is one of their, it's game by game, whoever's the best player for them. So they'll be a lot of fun to watch. Hamidou Diallo, his injury kind of screwed him in the middle of the season. He was kind of wishy-washy in minutes towards the end of the season there. But Nerlens is the backup center through and through. He will play at least 20 minutes a game. He's always entertaining to watch. Him and Shai are just very exciting players and fun players to watch all around if you're looking for exciting basketball. And the Thunder are a team that when they had their starters out there and Dennis Schroeder, they are the best team in the league, essentially, in terms of closing out games, putting up points. The stats really back them up. So they're a team that, if they can get hot for a couple of weeks, they can really make some noise. It also depends on seeding for them. If they have to run into the Rockets in the first round, that's definitely not going to be fun. But then again, either playing the Jazz or the Nuggets, it's going to be bad for any Western Conference team. But that's also a reason why I think, you could have any team come out. So I said last time I picked the Clippers. I'm going to stick with them. You're not going to go wrong, though, with the Clippers, Lakers, or Bucks. But for my money, the most exciting team that you need to watch has to be the Thunder. I think we're going to end today's episode with just some bullshit side notes. Um, for one, in the last episode, someone commented that I should get a unibrow to really, I guess, dive into my character. We'll see about that. Second of all, I am switching up shirts. I'm going to do a different UK shirt every day, or try to. I did my Women Crush Wednesday shirt with Mrs. Cal last week. I have a UK softball shirt this week. So this trend will go about 4 or 5 times until I run out of UK shirts. I think I'm going to end it here because we've got some basketball going on. We've got 3 games actually today, and then let's see, bunch of games. I think there's 8 or 9 games tomorrow, something like that. So it's just going on until the 28th. And I think I mentioned this in a different post, but I'll say it right now. The daily BBNBA updates will be coming back, but only once the regular season starts. These exhibition games are not nearly worth the content that they, I guess, are giving us. So I'm going to spare everyone from that. I'll watch them myself and suffer through some third quarter garbage minutes. But anyways, thank you all for tuning in. If you have any questions, please make sure to drop them below in the comments or just call me out, email me. I honestly don't care. Just say whatever mean things are in your mind, and I will try to answer them as literally as possible. Thank you all very much, and I'll see you next time.